Hello. So I recently posted something about us having family devotions. And one of the things that I have always tried to do is to get my children to memorize scripture. And it's more than just sitting and saying it. I try to post it in different areas of the home so that they can be reminded. So I just wanted to give you some quick examples of the things that I do to keep the scriptures before the children and to help them to memorize it. And then I'll explain to you how I use each of these tools. All right. Okay, so the main areas where I have the scripture posted is in my kitchen. And I think it's because we just spend a lot of time in our kitchen. So right here, this is kind of in a central, this thing right here is posted in a central part of the kitchen. So if you're sitting at the table or at the island, you see this. So right above here, I have this cute little sign. It says exercise daily, walk with the Lord. And I got this sign along with the chalkboard at Hobby Lobby. And what I did was using these liquid chalk markers, I got these off of Amazon. I put this scripture up, John 1:1-5, and it has been up here. By the end of this year, it'll probably be 2.5 years or so, or probably more like 2 years. And I plan to take it down and put up a new one for 2020. And we have just been taking our time, and the children, they've memorized it, but just really referring back to this, because I feel like this is just such a bedrock scripture that they really need to understand that, you know, in the beginning, as the scripture says, was the Word, and the Word was with God. And we've had multiple devotions concerning this, and there's just so many themes in this powerful scripture, so I wanted them to have that memorized. So at any given moment, we'll just bust out saying it. And it's so funny because I'll see the younger ones, they'll come sometimes, you know, snacking on something in the kitchen, and they're standing there and they're just looking at it and just mouthing and reading along. So it's just a great thing to have posted. And like I said, I'm going to take this down and put up a new one at the beginning of 2020. All right, let's go over here to the fridge. If you look right here, this is the scripture that we're memorizing for the month of September. We started the latter part of August, and we're going to go all the way through September. So we're almost done memorizing it, but we're constantly discussing it. So what I did was I got these magnetic strips off of Amazon, and I just wrote Romans 1:16, and it says, "For I am not ashamed." And then I stopped there because this is to trigger, I guess, their memory and for them to just go on. The point is for them to read this beginning, and then they're supposed to conclude it on their own. So I don't write the entire scripture on here. It's just kind of like a starter. And you know, this is always kind of neat when we're first learning the scriptures to see who can remember it on their own. So it's really just like a starter. All right, then over here, let me rest my tripod. Right over here on the other side of the refrigerator, I have Matthew 5:3. So we're starting a new series at church on the Sermon on the Mount, and this is the first beatitude that Jesus mentioned in the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So the other day, my husband, you know, we were all in the kitchen, and he just went into just explaining what this really meant to the children. And it wasn't necessarily like a planned devotional time, but he really just took the time to have a discussion with them about what this means. So this is going to be a continuous dialogue. So in addition to memorizing Romans 1:16, we're going to try to also memorize the Beatitudes. And this is going to take some months, but this one I'm not stressing like heavy memorization more than I am like, let's make sure that you really understand what is being said. So that's posted right here on our refrigerator. And you know, this sometimes get erased, and during devotion in the mornings, if I have time, I may use this very board to take notes on and to jot different things down. But this is just a magnetic whiteboard, great tool to have. And again, this is in a location where they come in the kitchen and they can see it. The final thing that I want to show you is over here. So I don't know if you really can see this, but this is my sliding door for outside. And I took the same chalk marker, liquid chalk marker, and I just wrote up here scriptures that we have memorized over the year. And this is, our table is on right in front of this. So what we'll do is in the mornings, like if we're rushing and I don't have time to go into you know, a lot of Bible reading, we'll just turn our attention to here, and they'll look up and they'll just start saying the scripture. As you can see, some of it is coming off and I have to go back up and fill it in. But these are scriptures, again, that we have memorized. And the Psalms 27 and John 1 through 5 and Joshua 1:8, those were somehow erased, but they have those committed to memory. And I plan to probably put some new ones up there. But this, again, goes all the way across. And all I did was just get a ladder with my marker and get to writing. So it's just nice to have these things posted in the home. And like I said, I've caught them just doing it, reading it on their own. So sometimes when we talk about memorizing scriptures, we think that it has to be like this complicated, like school type thing, but it doesn't always have to be like that. We do fun games as well, but I think having it posted kind of keeps all of us in the mindset to like memorize them and to repeat them. And this is even a great reference, quite honestly, for when I'm not even quite sure which direction to go in with the children and I just want to have something quick with them, I'm able to refer to this. So these are just a few suggestions. Hope they were helpful.